Hi everyone, welcome to Facebook Live. It's Waistcoat Wednesday and I don't have a waistcoat on because I don't own a waistcoat, so please forgive me. But later on this evening, OMG as my kids would say, England will be playing Croatia. What a massive, massive game that's going to be. I can't wait. Okay, we might just do it. It might just be coming home. I don't want to do anything apart from keep my fingers and toes crossed. But before we go and watch that fantastic football match, why don't we do some learning? Why don't we do some make it happen sales training and make sure that we can learn some new skills to help us build our businesses and grow our profitability for the future. So today's subject is all about prospecting, okay? I want to teach you about prospecting today, because I find a lot of people struggle with it. A lot of people have issues with what they're doing with their prospecting and stuff, and they this is what I hear a lot, okay? I'll give you an example. People say, I've tried everything. And I'm like, well, everything? They're like, yeah, I've tried everything. I'm like, okay, fine. So what have you tried? And they're like, I've tried everything. And I'm like, well, have you tried this, 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 and this? They're like, well, no, I haven't tried that, but I've tried this and this. And I'm like, well, you tried two things. Well, I've tried lots of things. Lots of people kind of follow like the herd with the industry that they're in, and they follow the business development process that's set out by their industry. And if your industry, for example, cold calls, guess what? Most people that join that industry think that cold calling is the way to do business. Think that just because other companies do it that way or their other colleagues do it that way, that's the only way to do it, which for me is a little bit wacky, if I'm really honest with you. Because do we know that in your business and your industry, for example, that cold calling is the best? Now, there could be other things. Come and say hi, by the way. If you're there, don't sit in the background. Come and say hi. Ask me your questions. Let me know what it is that you get frustrated with your prospecting. I want to answer those questions for you. People pay a lot of money to get me to come and train their companies. So why don't you, while you've got the opportunity here, get that learning for free? Ask me questions now. It doesn't cost you anything. You can learn. I can give you some tips, some tricks, some ideas to help you be a better prospector. Get new leads, get new prospects. Because guess what? The more leads you get, the more opportunities you have to make sales. Do we agree? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, let me know. Right, so if the people in your company use cold calls or your industry uses cold calls, how do you know it's the most effective? Just because somebody said so or because they've tested it? When you think about the different options you've got, okay, let's just go through the different prospecting options we've got. Great, this is excellent stuff. Right, hold on. Okay, well-organized team there. Thanks very much indeed. You know, there's three of us in this studio. You can't get the staff these days. Anybody wants to come and work in the studio with me that's good at replacing? Good at replacing. You know what? Da-da-da. There's loads of these. Let's see if we can do it this way. Why was this not checked, gang? Let me see if I can do it this way. Right. Sorry, folks. Right, so I've just lost my train of thought. If we think of the different ways that we can prospect, it's really important to make sure that we understand all of the opportunities to generate leads that exist out there. If we know all of the opportunities to generate leads, then we have to work out, as we go through those different opportunities, which ones apply to us. A lot of them you'll just immediately disregard, and you disregard them because you think they won't work in your business. You don't know necessarily, but you think. And it's really important that when you test something, you trial something, you're trialing it so that you can learn about whether it actually works, not whether it maybe works. You might have heard people being successful before, and they're like, this is the strategy to use, this works. And you know what? It might work for them, but it might not work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, then what do you do? Because there's other people out there that are making it work for them. Well, don't fret and don't fear. Okay, come and join me. Wizam, how you doing? Hey, hello, Yana, how are you? Okay, what's the most important? Hold on a minute. What is the most important if you overtake businesses which didn't work before someone else's? Like bar, let's say. What you need to be the most careful about. Makes sense, my question? Yana, just give that to me once more, a little bit more detail so I can understand, and I'll make sure I answer that for you. So let's stay focused. Come and join me, guys. Come on, why don't you come and say hello? Come and join me. I want to help and answer questions for you. Come and say hi, let me know you're there. So what are the different ways that we can find prospects, and what are the different ways that we can generate leads? Let's go through a list of them, okay? So we've got search engine optimization. That's one way that we could generate leads. We've got social media marketing. That's one way we can generate leads. Referrals, okay? This is one of my favorite ways of generating leads, getting referrals from people. I think they're critical in any business. Maybe you can do content marketing. Okay, some of these you may not know what they are, but no worries, we can go through them. Maybe on top of that, you can do trade shows. In some industries, trade shows work. So do trade shows work for you? Hi Pete, how are you? Sunita, how you doing? Come and say hi folks, I want to know that you're there. On top of that, what else could we do? Case studies. We could show case studies and work them through. On top of that, we've got the worst prospecting tool in the world, cold calling, okay? We can use LinkedIn as our LinkedIn network, okay? And we can prospect through our LinkedIn network. What else have we got? Surveys. Have you ever done surveys for your clients? Maybe you do surveys for your client base or surveys to your database. Okay, you can do that. Billboard advertising. So billboards you could do. Some companies like that. Big property development companies like to use that tool. What about press releases? Okay, you could do that as well. I'm running out of pages here. What about advertising? Okay, let me know which ones that you use. Okay, let me know. Okay, Wizam, introducers. Absolutely, you could use introducers. Okay. Now, what else could you do? I've got a whole list of these things here that I wrote down earlier. So we've got introducers. So you put me off there with that. Wizam. Okay, let's focus on it. What's your homepage look like? How do you market your homepage on your website? Okay, you could use a business development agency. That's something you could use. On top of that, maybe giveaways. Okay, you could use those. Sponsorships. That's another thing that you could use. On top of that, word of mouth. We like word of mouth, don't we? Okay, it's nice when other people say good things about you. Public speaking. Do you do any public speaking? Maybe public speaking could be a way that you generate leads. Okay, AdWords. So Google AdWords. On top of that, we could do Yelp reviews. That's one. What else have we got? Centers of influence. I'm running out of space here. Centers of influence. Okay, and then there's even more. We could do testimonials. We could buy from competitor to learn. We could do Facebook ads. We could do collaborations. So there's a million different ways that you could just here. I've written down so many different things that you can do to generate leads. Now, what you want to do is write these things down as I go through and ask yourself a question. Which one of these do you actually use? Or which two of these or which three of these do you actually use? Do you use them all? Okay, have you tried them all? And some people will go, oh, you know what? I do cold calling, so content marketing is not going to work for me. How do you know? If you haven't done it, how do you know? And this is what I find really interesting. People struggle in business to generate leads, okay? People in real estate here in Dubai, for example, they get lots of leads of people interested in buying or lots of interested in people that are wanting to rent, okay? But they have to go and find the landlords, they have to go and find the sellers, okay? And what do they do to get those people? They do cold calling, which is really interesting because that's the method they've used and they keep using and they've always used, and do you know what? They stick to it. They don't think outside the box, they stay down that path without saying to themselves, what alternatives are there? How many of you have had a cold call from a financial advisor, an insurance broker, cold call from a bank trying to offer you a credit card or pay off your credit card debt into a loan or stuff like that? All this cold calling that takes place. What do you do and what can you do? Okay, who else have we got? Craig, how you doing, mate? Okay, so Craig's a good example. Real estate broker. Craig, you use cold calling. And it's just like, do you know that the other methods don't work? Or are you just so set in your ways that you're not prepared to change? And this is what we find a lot of people are doing. Network marketers, same old thing. They'll find someone that's successful in network marketing that uses something that works for them. And that's it. They'll say, right, that's what I've got to do. And when it doesn't work, they'll wonder what to do next because they're thinking, well, if it works for the top salesperson, I must repeat. But that's not always the way. Our personalities are different. Our businesses are different. Okay, our way of communicating. Some of us are shy. Some of us are extrovert, like me. Different things that we can do. Imagine if you did public speaking. What about if you went to school schools and colleges and you did free training for the kids, the 16-year-olds at schools and colleges, and you trained those people on certain things, do you think that maybe that would open up opportunities for leads? What we find a lot of the time is everybody is looking, okay, for the lead, okay, that converts into a sale now. But that's not how relationships are built. Of course, there are some opportunities like that, but you know what? The fastest way for that to happen is for someone to phone me up and say to me, or send me an email or send me a message and say to me, Spencer, I want to buy your product and service. What do I have to do to get it? That's the fastest way to make that happen. So how do I find those people that phone me up and say, I want your product and I want your service, can I buy it? Okay, not cold calling, not for me, because it doesn't work. And in your business, what works for you? Okay, what else? Claire Mahoney, how you doing, hun? Hamza, how are you? Nice to see you on. Okay, guys, come and ask you questions. It's really important I understand what you're talking about, what you're thinking about. Now, so if we know there's many different ways to go about generating leads, write down a list of what you do at the moment. So literally write down a list. Do you work on SEO? Is that part of what you do? And if it isn't, why isn't it? Okay, now it might not work, but if you try it and then you eliminate it, and because it doesn't work, then at least you can tick the box, say, do you know what? I've tried it, I've tested it, it doesn't work for my business. Make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so then we keep going through. Social media marketing. So many people just don't know how to use social media for marketing. They're just really naive to it. Well, you can go onto YouTube, you can type into YouTube, how does social media marketing work? And guess what? You can get it to work for you. Social media marketing, that's where all of our eyes are, staring at these blooming devices that we've got constantly. Some of you are now watching me this very minute on a device like this. Your eyes are on this tool, and if your eyes are on this tool, other people's eyes are on the same tool or their own version of your tool. So if everyone's got a phone and they're watching stuff on their phone, are you using social media to market? And if you're not, what's your strategy? On top of that, okay, when do you ever create case studies so that people can understand, okay, by an example of someone in a similar position to themselves, okay, what you do and how you've been able to help somebody? Is that something you do? People go to trade shows. Some people just use trade shows. And you know what? For some companies, trade shows cost a lot of money, but they must work because why would you spend a lot of money on a trade show? If you don't use trade shows, have you ever thought about how a trade show could help generate a massive amount of leads for you? A trade show, lots of footfall, people coming through, engaging with lots of people, might be able to generate lots and lots of sales or sales leads. Umar, how are you? Umar from OBG's on. Mark Williams, how are you, mate? Long time no speak. So, what else? Okay, what are you doing with your LinkedIn network? How big is your LinkedIn network? I've got people that say to me, oh, I've got a few hundred people. I've got 15,000 people on my LinkedIn network, and I don't think I've got many people. My friend Sarah Al-Madani, she's got 200,000 people that follow her on LinkedIn. If she poses a question about anything, she gets a massive number of responses. She posted a job opportunity the other day just on her LinkedIn profile. Didn't use any of these recruitment sites in the UK or anywhere else for that matter here in the UAE. She didn't use a recruitment agency. She literally posted a job as a post on her page and she got hundreds of replies. So she was trying to fill a role, hundreds of replies come in. That's the power of having a big audience that you talk to and add value to. Now, how do you build that big audience? Well, that's another thing that you've got to do. It takes some time, but building it, provide valuable content, educate people in written form, in verbal form, in video form, and it can be done. Surveys. Have you ever thought of doing a survey? Everyone on your database, doing a survey about subject relative to them. Not a subject relevant to you, a subject relevant to them, something that's valuable for them. Great way of generating leads. There's loads of, what's it called? SurveyMonkey. What an easy tool to use, SurveyMonkey, or as my friend calls it, Monkey Survey. But SurveyMonkey is such a powerful tool. Create a survey, send it out to your database, ask 5 questions, get some information back. You'll find that people in your database might be thinking in that moment about something relevant to your business, and it could generate you leads. Wow! Okay, on top of that, billboard advertising, well, again, that's for bigger companies that have got bigger budgets. But if you're in that realm, then guess what? It might work for you. Explore it. Press releases. When there's news happening in your business, why don't you create a press release? Get that press release to go out, and that release goes out into the marketplace. It educates people on your product and your service. It brings market awareness, and it increases the value of your brand. Okay, important to do so. What do we got? Centers of influence. Oh my goodness me, a center of influence. How powerful is that? So a center of influence. What is a center of influence? center of influence, okay, that person knows other people. And that other people is that person's network. And if they're a center of influence, they are regarded within that network of being someone of authority. Get the center of influence to promote you, and then they can promote you to all of these people within their community. You may be a center of influence yourself. Think about if I asked you for help. If I said to you, can you help me please? I need to help drum up some sales leads for Make It Happen Sales Training University. If you're a center of influence, okay, maybe you know people that I don't know that I could ask you to introduce me to and develop that. So centers of influence are really important. Okay, go back here. All right. Using introducers, get introducer agreements. I used to do this a lot. I used to get people to be introducers for me. So I would take somebody and I would give them a percentage of what I earned for introducing opportunities and clients to me. This was years ago, but it worked very well. They were financially incentivized to do that. And guess what? It was in their interest to find me clients. And they went out and they were telling people about what I did, how I did it, how much value I added. And it was a very, very strong introduction. Okay, I had to give a little bit of my fee away, but do you know what? I don't mind giving a bit of my fee away if I've got a lead that I wouldn't have had in the first place. Emma's on the floor. He's down on the floor here. You can't see him. He's down on the floor. You really can't see him. Hello! It's a turn of light. So, let's have a look at some questions that you've got. Listening and learning, mate. Umar, great. I really appreciate that you're on here, mate, and listening and learning. Okay, warm calling, Craig. Do you know what? Warm callings is important, but is it the actual very best solution? Okay, I'm not sure it is, because you know what? Not because people don't, let's eliminate that people don't like to receive phone calls. A lot of people use their devices not for making phone calls nowadays. A lot of people are interrupted by phone calls rather than anything else. Is warm calling the solution? People are using their devices differently for everything. You use your devices differently for everything. So is it the solution? Whether it's cold calling or warm calling. What about not calling at all? What about not making contact by a telephone call, but making contact in another way? All right. Think about all the people that are members of the Make It Happen University. I don't call any of those people. None of them, okay? Oh, what do? I have a seminar. A seminar generates interested people. They convert to being members of the university, the Make It Happen University, and then I engage with them for after the seminar. So if you think about it, I haven't got to get them to the seminar. People think, oh, you must have to call lots of people. I don't. I use a different system. So what's my lead generation tool for my seminars? Let me show you. And again, loads of people in real estate could use this. Okay, loads and loads and loads of people in real estate can use this. So I use click funnels. Okay, and those click funnels that I use, okay, essentially in a very dumbed down way. And I know lots of you out there will go, well, I know what a click funnel is. Okay, great, brilliant. Just bear with me for the people that don't. Let's say I've got a database of 50,000 people on my database. I can send an invite out to those 50,000 people if I want to. Those 50,000 people then, okay, can come into a funnel. Now, if you imagine a funnel like this, maybe, okay, 40,000 of them respond to the invite. Maybe, okay, 20,000 of them respond to my second reminder. And maybe, okay, 10,000 of them respond to my third reminder. And maybe 1,000 actually come to my seminar from that type of structure. Well, some of you will go, well, I don't have a database like this, so I can't do the same thing. No problem. Okay, instead of having that database that way, do your funnel by using Facebook ads. Okay, if you do Facebook advertising can push out your advert to a large group of people. Okay, create a landing page that's on your Facebook advert. People click on the landing page. So if there's 50,000 people see the advert, okay, that click on the landing page, maybe then the click through to the next page, okay, is 25,000. Maybe the click through to the next page, okay, is 10,000. Okay, and maybe the click through to the next page is 2,000. Well, you're creating a funnel here that's getting smaller, but these people are becoming hotter and hotter leads. And this is what I do to get people to attend seminars that I run. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, create landing pages, take them step by step through the landing page, and at the bottom of the funnel comes the people that are really interested in what I do. Now, that's a great way of generating a massive number of leads. You could do, everyone could do this. Everybody could do this. There's no point saying, it won't work for me, it doesn't work for me. Try it, because if you try it, you might see it works for you. Okay, what else have we got? Who's got questions for me? Guys, Sam Douglas is on. How you doing, mate? Guys, come and ask me questions. Let me know what your questions are, because I believe a lot of you, honestly, I believe a lot of you are kind of stuck. You get stuck into a place where you think, right, it's not broken, so I don't have to fix it. I'm going to stay doing what I'm doing. But you're not watching the fact that people's behavior is changing. People's ways of interacting with individuals and companies are changing. Go and have dinner with your family tonight, okay? Anyone that's got a mobile phone will sit around the table, and half the table will be on their mobile phones. Blah, 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 blah. They'll be like that, eating their dinner. Go and do it down the pub. Go tonight and watch the England match. Go watch the football and notice how many people are on their phones. How many people are videoing what's going on, Snapchatting or Instagramming what's going on. Okay, how many people are chatting on their phone? Most aren't. Most are sitting there tapping away. Now, they could be talking to you, but they don't. People interact differently. So if they interact differently, you have to think, how can I best serve their way of interacting and communicating? How can I stop doing what I've done for the last 20 years and think about ways that I could do it differently and could improve it? Okay, likes and shares, likes and shares, likes and shares, love, hearts, thumbs up, none of that. Are you either listening intently to me, I'm driving you mad, or you know that I make sense? And tell me what it is. So, do you use funnels? And if you don't, no matter what you sell, you should. Okay, no matter what you sell, you should. Okay, if you don't, look into it. Let's go back again. Okay, what else? What is your homepage like? A lot of people go, I've got a great website. But how do you get people to your website? How do you drive traffic to your website? No one's going to go there. Okay, unless they're specifically looking for what you sell. So how do you drive traffic to your website? How do you find the people that are specifically interested in what you do and drive them to your website? Do you know how to do that? If not, but if you did, you'd be able to create leads. And if you created leads, you might not have to do it another way, which is a long-winded way. You think about, I don't know, a real estate brokerage or a sales floor with 50 salespeople. 50 salespeople all on the phones all day. How many hours are spent on the phones? A lot of people in sales nowadays could be from 9 till 5 on the telephone and only actually genuinely speak to 10 people in a whole day. You can't tell me that that's the smartest way of being in business. You can't tell me that to speak to 10 people in a day makes sense. Calling 100 people to get to speak to 10? That can't be the answer. There's got to be a better way, surely. Or should we just continue what we're doing and, what's the definition of madness? Repeat what you've always done. Okay, expecting something to change is the definition of madness. Well, to me, that's exactly what it is. It's the definition of madness. Right, what else have we got here? What other ways? What ways do you use at the moment to generate leads in your business? So, Sam, what do you use? Mark, what do you use? Okay, Hamza, Pete, Wiz, what are you using to generate leads, okay? Karen, what are you using? Okay, Yana, what are you doing to generate leads? I want to know what you're doing to generate leads. Okay, I keep knocking this light over, Emma.
No problem.
Bloody light. That's what you get studios. What are you doing? So please tell me, okay? Just right down here, tell me what it is that you use to generate leads, okay? Just type in the comment section what you use to generate leads. Okay, what else have we got? Have you ever sponsored anything, but with a strategy around it? Not just sponsoring and putting a logo somewhere, with a business development strategy around it. Have you ever done giveaways? Okay, what is your irresistible offer? What is it that you offer that's your X factor that your competitors don't? And what could you offer that is your X factor that your competitors can't? Okay, a lot of people in sales in lots of industries say, well, we do the same as everybody else, but we give better service. Well, if everybody says we give better service, the simple fact is nobody will believe it. So what you've got to do is think about what your X factor is. Okay? What is the difference that you make? What is what you do? What do you do differently, okay, to all of your competitors? What's the irresistible offer that you can have? So think about what that irresistible offer would be. Okay, guys, come on. I'm not getting any more comments here, Emma.
What?
I'm not getting any more comments here. Can you just have a check on that just to make sure? Because I'm just not getting any comments coming through. Okay, word of mouth. What word of mouth?
Last one.
No, that's the first one, mate.
Really?
That's the first one. There's no more coming through. No more coming through at all, okay? Honestly, I've been watching them come through. Can you do me a favour?
I think that's what I'm getting as well.
Okay, is it? You have a look. Okay, I want to make sure that everyone that's asking questions is getting those questions answered for them. Yeah? Okay, no problem at all. I just want to make sure that we're getting that, Guys out there, if you got, am I not reading your questions? Can you just let me know? Okay. Yeah? Okay. Pritesh, how are you, mate? Nice to see you. Long time no speak. Okay, what about Google AdWords? Do you use Google AdWords? Some people think they do SEO and some people don't. Okay, do you use Google AdWords? Okay, that won't even open up on there. What about Yelp reviews? Okay, have you ever done Yelp reviews before? Have you ever done any public speaking before? Is it something you've done? If it isn't, do you think about how much credibility you would have if you were to go out and to teach and teach and teach for free? And if you went out and taught for free and added value to people and gave them answers to questions they don't have, what do you think might happen? Do you think possibly, just possibly, okay, that you could gain credibility, gain trust, and guess what? Gain leads, generate leads from the back of that. Okay, Karen's on there as well. Content marketing, referrals. Oh, I love referrals. I ask everybody that I do business with to introduce me to 3 or 4 people that they know that I don't already know. If they say, let me think about it, I've got an answer for it. If they say, no, they don't refer, I've got an answer for it. I make sure that they understand that doing business with me means they need to refer me if I add value. And I make that very clear from the beginning. And because I make it clear, I've always got more leads in my hand after every single appointment, okay? If you're selling stuff, okay, imagine this. Imagine all of you, if this was your scenario. Let's have another page. Okay, imagine if this was your scenario. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That was your working week. Imagine that was it. And imagine you could do 5 meetings a day. So 10, 12, 2, 4, 6. Let's just say, okay, every day. That's 5 a day multiplied by 5 working days in the week. That's 25 meetings in a week. Now, if you start at the beginning of the week and you've not got many prospects, let's say you've got 3 prospects to go and see at the beginning of the week. If those 3 prospects each were to give you, okay, 3 referrals, you would have 9 referrals. If those 9 referrals then were to give you 3 referrals, you would have 9 3s are 27. You would now have 27 referrals. Now, not everyone's going to be in a prospect that's going to book in. Some people are going to say, I'm not interested. But if those 27, if you call those 27, saw those 27 people, okay, sod it. Let's say you didn't. Actually, let's say you only saw 10 of them. And they gave you 3, okay, guess what? You'd have 30. And let's say out of those 30, okay, you only saw 15 of them. If those 15 of them gave you 3 referrals, then guess what? You've got 45 opportunities. And out of those 45, if you only saw 25 of them, guess what? By week 5, your diary would be full of meetings to make sales. Just by making sure you get referrals from every single person you meet. That number will keep increasing and keep increasing. Now, some people say, well, you can only get referrals from some people. Some people say no. My rule was the following. I never did business with people that did not want to refer me. So if they said, I won't refer you, I'd say, okay, that means you don't trust me. If you don't trust me, I'm probably not going to be ending up doing business with you anyway. And if that's the case, no drama. Okay, go find someone else to deal with. And it would shock people into thinking that I was deadly serious. Okay, John, how are you doing, mate? Craig, okay, I agree, mate. We have so many ways of getting leads now. SEO, PPC, social media marketing. Not many calls are made these days compared to 5 or 6 years ago. But all of the above will normally result in that phone call before the meeting takes place. But no, it doesn't have to, okay? It doesn't have to. How about it results in them contacting you? How more powerful is it if they phone you as opposed to you phone them? If you can lead them to a place. How about you, Craig, you did what I did with a seminar. So you arranged a seminar from Facebook advertising, you run a funnel. That funnel had 150 people at the seminar to learn about, Craig, you're in real estate, to learn about real estate, what to buy, what not to buy, or some stuff that your specialist knowledge could teach. Out of those 150 people at your seminar, not one of them would have got a call. At the end of the seminar, you ask every one of them that wants to have a meeting with you face to face to go to the back of the room to book an appointment in your diary. Out of those 150 people, you've got 3 months or maybe 2 months worth of appointments. 2 months worth of appointments, a seminar every 2 months. Not a single phone call needs to take place. How cool would that be? They also think you're the expert because they've seen you speak and add value. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll help. Get your customers to write reviews. Yeah, Pritesh, absolutely. Get them to write a review. But not a review on LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn reviews aren't quite as good as they used to be. So get them to write a review. Okay, and even better, Pritesh, get your clients to do a video review. Okay, tell on video how good they think you are in the service that you provide. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's referrals. Again, another ones that we can use. There's so many different ways that we can go. There's so many different things we can try. And if you do try these things, There's going to be some that don't work, but you know what? No big drama. If some don't work, they just don't work. Okay, I've got some questions like I have every week from people. Let me answer those questions. If you've got any questions, let me know. Okay, hi Robert Allsop, how are you? Craig O'Sullivan, you're on there as well. Hiya Craig, how are you? Right, Dave Jones from Manchester. Hi Dave, how are you? What are your thoughts on using Facebook ads to find good leads? There you go, I've already answered that one. A colleague of mine does this and says that it works for him. The problem is I don't want to have to spend too much money on this. Well, let's just work it out. How much money does it actually cost vis-a-vis the time that you have to spend generating leads in another way? You have to stop thinking about cost and start thinking about worth. What is it worth to me? You know, like I told the example of Craig doing a seminar. If Craig spent $5,000 on Facebook ads and a venue to do a seminar and it created 150 interested people, 150 sellers, for example, to use Craig to sell their property, that's got to be the best deal on the planet, okay, for Craig. So understand what it's worth to you, what you'll get from it as opposed to what it's going to cost you. And that will change the way you think about it. But I believe in Facebook advertising. I think it works. Is it cheap? As long as you add loads of content and loads of value, it gets cheaper and cheaper because you get known and Facebook can find the right type of people for you. Facebook doesn't just do ads. Facebook does targeted ads. So Facebook will target who you want them to target. And so by doing so, they can go out to everyone on their network, everyone that uses Facebook, and identify exactly who you want to talk to and advertise to those people. Make sense? Okay. It also, you know, different things you do. Okay, my computer is frozen. Amma, my computer's frozen. So, next question. Let's go through Dominic Sally from Sydney in Australia. Okay, Dominic, is it there?
Oh, you pressed on pause, I think.
Oh, did I? Okay, so Dominic Sally from Sydney, Australia. I'm looking to make the move into sales, but the thought of prospecting terrifies me, especially since I no longer have a set salary every month. Okay, a set salary every month. Okay, come on, you people that run businesses, you've heard that kind of issue before. Any tips on how to keep my income high every month? I can't afford to have any dry months. Yes, Dominic, work your ass off. Give it everything you've got. All day, every day. Don't go out at the weekends drinking, use it for studying. Of an evening, get to bed early, okay, and get up early and get some exercise done. Have a strategy, okay, 3 things you need to think about. Do I have the right state of mind? Do I have the right story? Am I using the right strategy? And whatever happens, sometimes the strategy is wrong, by the way, and you have to change it or fix it or maneuver it, okay? But as long as you've got those 3 things aligned, then you've got a good chance. But it requires massive amounts of work and effort to get going at the beginning. So don't underestimate it. And remember, keep the faith, stay positive, because if you keep doing it over and over, if you keep repeating what you're doing, if you keep working hard, you will eventually get there. It might hurt, but you will get there. And when you get there, you'll be so happy you did, and you'll look back on those difficult times and say, do you know what? They were worth it. Hopefully that answers that question for you, mate. Mike Larkin from Cape Town. Hiya, Mike. How are you? Do you think that email marketing works for prospecting? No one seems to read their emails anymore. Never mind reply to them. No, I don't think email marketing does work, to be honest with you. It's a marketing tool, but I think, to be honest with you, WhatsApp is better than LinkedIn, than email. I think on top of that, I would go Facebook bots. I think what are the statistics? An email's open on average every 4 days. So there's a long time to open emails, and I'm guilty of that myself. Or WhatsApp's opened within the hour. On average, a Facebook Messenger message is opened on average within 8 seconds. So I would go down that route, because 90% of Facebook messages are opened, 10% of emails are opened quickly. So I would go down the route. And some people use WhatsApp and it works for them. And you know what? That's fine if it works for you. Some people use Telegram and it works for them. Fine if it works for you. Is it maximizing your results? And if it isn't, try the other things. And I think Facebook bots, okay, so if you can use the bots on Facebook, you don't know how to, employ somebody to do it. I don't know how to. I've got a guy that does it. It works. Hopefully that helps for you, Mike. Jen in New York, I've been dealing with so many time wasters recently. How do I make sure that prospects are genuinely interested before I invest my precious time on people who won't buy? How do I make sure my prospects are genuinely interested? Do some research on them, market to them, Let them communicate with you digitally and let them demonstrate their interest to you. And if they demonstrate their interest to you, you know they're interested. You don't have to do this. You don't have to plonk away and do emails and hope that someone's going to respond. Think about different strategies. We've spoken about so many different ways. If I got referrals, okay, then I'd know people were interested if they were referred to me. If people respond to my word of mouth, if people look at my public speaking and contact me, LinkedIn networking, if people are interested. Qualify people. If you've got somebody that you're not sure is interested, just level with them. Say, look, this is what I do. This is the value I bring. This is how I help other people. This is how I help people in your situation. These are the massive results I've got. Is that something that's really of interest to you? If they say yes, say, great. Are you ready to take action around that area now or not? You know, you're just window shopping. Is it for a later stage? If they say, no, I'm ready to take action, now you've got a more qualified person. Hopefully that answers the question for you. All right, guys, hopefully this has been valuable to you today. I've got any more questions? No, we're all going to go and watch the England game. So for those of you out there that are watching, I hope that you're going to support England tonight. And if you're not, okay, you'll be supporting Croatia. I hope Croatia have a great game, but I hope England have an even better game. Whatever you do, come and ask me questions whenever you want to. Think about how you can make it happen. Change your marketing approach. Think about how you can prospect better. There are ways to get an abundance of leads just by being smarter at what you do. And whatever you do, make sure that you do what I hope England do tonight, and that's to get out and make it happen. Good night, folks.